Hi everybody and good morning. Friday the 29th of January. Goodness, what a January it's been. At least it's not pouring with rain. I got so wet today taking the dog for a walk. It was unbelievable. But I'm not wet anymore and the sun's coming out, so that's quite nice. In fact, there's a rainbow outside my office, which is even nicer. So 29th of January. Well, for us accountants, that's incredibly good news because it means it's very close to the end of the tax year, or the tax submission year. I've got one more to do, and which will be done by this afternoon, and I am actually taking 2 days off next week, which I am so excited about. Somebody asked me yesterday, gosh, what are you going to do? You won't be able to go and do anything. And I said, that's the point. I will be able to do nothing, which is wonderful. I can just lie in my bed under my duvet, read my book, and do nothing, which would be blissful. So, what are we talking about today? Today we're talking about fear in business. If you are watching this either live or on replay, please make a comment, say hi. It'd be lovely to say hello, who you are. Sorry, my hair is horrendous today. I don't know what's happened to it, and I can't work out when you're looking in the mirror, in the screen, which way you're supposed to do it. Never mind. So fear in business. Fear of costs, fear of information, fear of change. There's so many fears in business that can hold us right back. And quite often it's a mindset thing, but sometimes it's a real thing. I don't mean a real thing like that. I mean a physical thing. But more often than not, fear is the thing that will hold us back in our business. When we've got to do something new and it's really scary, then it's likely to hold us back. It's likely to stop us moving forward, doing the things that we want to do. And it can be absolutely debilitating. I mean, so debilitating. It's really, really not a very nice thing at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to address some of those common fears that we encounter in our businesses today. I have a fear of tech. It may be a real fear, it may not be a real fear, I'm not quite sure, but it's a real fear as far as I'm concerned. And every time I have to do something new technical, excuse me a minute, the puppy is yet again taking over. Can you just go and lie down in your bed and stop breaking things in the office, please? Piper, please. Sorry, yet again the puppy takes over the office. I don't know what she's doing today, but never mind. So where was I? Yeah, I have a real fear of stop, Piper. I have a real fear of technical things. I'm scared that I'm going to do the wrong thing, scared that I'm going to put something out there in the ether, in the internet, somewhere, whatever, that is never going to go away, that I am going to have made a really big mistake on, I'm going to look a complete idiot. And it really worries me at times. And yesterday I conquered one of those fears because I'm doing this challenge, 5 steps to power your profit ahead. Because I'm doing this challenge, it means that I have to do a lot of things which I'm really scared about. Setting up a Facebook group, that's okay, I can do that. That was all right. Adding things into the unit, glad to say I didn't have to do all of that. But doing the videos and setting them all up. Setting them all up and making sure that everything was in the right places for my wonderful VA to sort out was really scary. And yesterday, I conquered that completely. I did 3 mini videos for the challenge. And I uploaded them to my YouTube account and I saved them to the Trello board for the VA, and I saved them to a Dropbox somewhere. I'm not quite sure what she's going to do with them, but it was actually quite liberating doing it. And it was like sort of, oh my goodness, I did it. I'm quite excited. So what are you fearful of? Fear of change. Fear of change is a massive one. Our clients quite often come to us and their book's been done in the same way for years and years and years, and sometimes it's a spouse or a family member who's been managing those books, and it's possible that they've probably been doing it since sort of day one. For others, it may be that they've got a part-time bookkeeper who spends a little bit of time sort of fiddling around with their books and stuff like that, but maybe not doing it 100%. But when a business arrives at our doorstep or our virtual doorstep, whichever, with that kind of background, one of the biggest fears that we see is a fear of change. While it's often also the reason that they actually came to us because they need that change, they know they need that change, taking that step to actually make the change can be really, really big. So what do we do to help people get over that? Well, for a start, we have a long chat with them just to make sure that they are really happy with what we're going to be doing. We make them feel quite excited about what they're going to be able to do with their books moving forward. I am really sorry about this puppy. Would you stop, please? I don't know what her problem is. She's usually asleep at this time of day. Well, not always, obviously, as you all know. But yeah, we try to make them excited about what they're going to actually be seeing as far as their books are concerned, when they're organised, what it's going to mean for them, how much they're going to understand their numbers and things like that. But it can cause a huge, tremendous amount of anxiety and trepidation. In fact, will making this change cause stress and strife? Is it really going to be worth it? What can we do? And what we try to do is we help to alleviate that fear of change. If we can't meet up in person, we will send a video explaining exactly what we're going to do in step-by-step processes. They don't necessarily need to know what we're going to do. They don't need to know all the technical side of what we're going to do, but they need to know that we've got their back, that we've always got their back. We're always going to be looking after them, whatever happens. So that's the fear of change. Fear of information. So this is quite an intriguing fear in a way, actually, and it's more often than not, it comes from something deep within the business owner, a lurking suspicion that maybe the books or even their accounting in general isn't quite accurate. That sort of vague sense of panic, and as a result, mounting fears arise over what those numbers are going to reveal, especially if they leave them until the very, very end of either their tax year or the tax year, depending on what country you're in and things like that. But sometimes it can be really, really scary, and people will bury their head in the sand and they will leave things until the last possible moment, until suddenly they realize, because they've been bombarded with adverts and annoying accountants saying, you do know it's tax return time, and if you don't get it in by the 30th, you're going to get a penalty. And that's enough to sort of spur them on and get them away from that fear of information. But sometimes that vague sense of panic that they have can last all year. So what do we do to try and help people through that? Well, first of all, we try to get people to do their tax returns as early on as the year as possible. One, so they don't have that fear of information. Two, so that they have the knowledge to know exactly how much they're going to be paying as far as their tax is concerned that following January. But three, to make sure that they are in charge of what their numbers are doing. They understand what their numbers are doing. And it's so important. It will alleviate that fear of information. It can be very, very hard to face the reality of that information if it's been overlooked for a long time. But once it's accurate and it's reliable, the fear is replaced by almost by a certainty and an assuredness that you can actually make really good decisions in your business because you know that those figures are right. Now, this is why a lot of people use cloud accounting systems. This is why I advise people to use cloud accounting systems, because it gives you real-time information. As long as everything is up to date in there, excuse me, my voice is going funny. As long as everything is up to date in there, it can give you real-time information. So therefore, you can make really good, what they call data-driven decisions to grow your business, or just even to run your business. It makes such a difference. So that's fear of information. The other one that we have to deal with on a daily basis is fear of cost. We are not the cheapest accountants in any way, shape or form in this country. Absolutely not a hope. And I wouldn't want to be a cheap accountant, because I don't just offer accountancy services. I don't just do your tax return. I do for some people, yes. But for the majority of people, I don't just do your accounts. I'm actually a business advisor as well. Now that I am, oh yeah, forgot to say that, I am now a certified advanced profit first professional, which is really exciting. But yeah, I'm an accountant. I am a business advisor, and I'm a profit first professional. So those things have taken me 25 years roughly to get that experience. So therefore, the charges that I make they're not going to be cheap by any manner of means, because you are going to getting a different type of value. And that is what is so incredibly important. But when you're talking about the fear of cost, it's really very, very reasonable and very common concern. We often hear, well, you're more expensive than a perceived competitor, though you can never really compare one accountant to another accountant or one business to another business. They're not really, it's like comparing apples and pears. I know that's an old saying, but it is like comparing apples and pears. You cannot really compare one service against another. Just because somebody says, okay, this is the package that I'm offering and these are the things that I do, it doesn't mean to say that Joe Bloggs down the road is not going to do exactly the same, or is actually going to have the same ideas in their package, but actually they're going to offer, it's going to be completely different. You have to, I think personally, that we have to appreciate the distinction, the difference between what we offer and what other people offer. A client whose priority is truly having the cheapest or the low cost accounting is not an ideal client for us anyhow. The fear of cost is attached more to the unknown than the actual fee that they're going to pay for the services. And the reason for this is the fear of cost is, the unknown is, well, we've done it like this for so long and it's been okay. As far as we know, it's been absolutely fine. But actually we don't really know. Oh God. So therefore you get the fear of information, the fear of change, the fear of everything, and then the fear of cost on top of it. It's not a great position to be in. But what we do is we try to discuss what the difference is between price versus value, because price is actually neither here nor there. If you are getting the value that you need for your business to be able to run the business how you want to run the business, to know that the data that's in your business is absolutely 100% correct, and therefore any decisions that you're making are 100% worked on that data, then that's invaluable. Knowing that somebody has your back, knowing that somebody is going to help you work out what those numbers actually mean. What does gross profit percentage mean? What does operating profit? What does EBITDA mean? What do all of these things actually mean? And not only that, how can we move the business forward? That is why we have a difference between price and value. So price, as I say, is really neither here nor there. And a lot of people say, well, I can't afford that at the moment. No, okay, fine. You can't afford it. That's absolutely fine. But you'll probably come back to us when you can afford it, because you know that you're going to get that value. And as I say, yeah, we are expensive. There's no doubt about it. We are expensive, but the value that we offer is second to none. It really is. But anyhow, that's neither here nor there. If you've got that fear of cost, that fear of the unknown, how can you deal with that? If what we try to do is we help our prospective clients understand what that value is, we connect them with our current clients if we need to, because sometimes offsetting that fear, it needs to be experienced. You need to push ourselves forward to do these things. And I think we all have a fear of the unknown, and not just in business, in everything, to be quite honest with you. I mean, we're all in this horrendous lockdown in the UK at the moment, and we have a complete fear of the unknown. We don't know how long it's going to last. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know whether the vaccines are going to work or they're not going to work, or our children are going to be able to go back to school, or in my case, whether we're going to be able to go back to, well, she's at uni already, but whether she's actually going to be able to ever have any face-to-face lessons, or whether her 3 years at uni is actually going to be taken up with doing virtual lessons, virtual exams, virtual lessons, virtual everything. Or whether that's actually just going to be our new normal. Is Zoom going to be our new normal, or StreamYard, or Facebook Lives, or whatever? Is doing online courses just going to be our new normal? Are we not going to be able to do anything face-to-face? Who knows? But that gives us a huge fear of the unknown. And I think we need to give ourselves a bit of a break. We need to give ourselves a bit of a talking to, a bit of an acceptance talking to. This is how it's going to be for the time being. We have to accept it, but it's okay. We're okay to be like this. We will get through this because we're pretty tough as a human race, really. But the fear of what is to come is really scary. Sometimes you need to voice that fear. And I think a lot of us have been bottling it up, maybe. And I think we need to really try and voice it a bit more. And I've just realised that I've been talking for 15 and a half minutes, and I am so sorry. Firstly, the puppy takes over, and now I'm gabbling. I'm so sorry, and I hope you have a lovely rest of Friday and this weekend. As I say, I'm taking 2 days off next week, which I'm quite excited about. And I hope that helped you alleviate some of the fears as far as maybe taking the next step in your business. What is the next step that you can take? Tiny step. What's the next little step that you could take in your business? Thank you so much for listening, and have a fabulous weekend.